What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Hopefully you can hear me well. 1 2 1 2. Turn myself up just a tad bit. 1 2. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. There we go. I had to almost ran out of juice. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing tonight? Thought I would come. I've been doing experimenting and trying different things, X, Y, and Z. But I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and come on tonight and talk about a couple of things. So give me one quick second, and then we're going to get into it. All right, we back. All right, I had to get some power going, but we back. How you guys doing tonight? We get an extra hour tonight. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, you do something good with your extra hour. Tonight, you know, I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. If anybody want to pop in, bring in any type of conversation, you can. 248-905-1128. 248-905-1128. And we can go ahead and get in for a quick couple of minutes and talk about what's going on out here. Checking to see something. What's going on, everybody? I started the stream and my battery is almost going dead, but we're going to see real quick if that don't happen. I just turned down something so we can go ahead and go. But tonight I wanted to talk about a couple of things, and let's make sure that this battery ain't dying first so I can go ahead and do this live stream. Because I haven't been able to do one in a couple of days and a little bit. So, you know, bear with me. I'm going to open the phone lines up, 248-905-1128. Been doing a little bit of experimenting, but I just wanted to talk about, we at the end of the election cycle. Bet. Yeah, my battery power going back up. Bet. All right. We at the bottom end of the election cycle, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and do the sharing real quickly. And make sure. Let me go ahead and do some sharing, because sharing is caring. Just in case somebody want to jump in, pop in, you know what I mean? Oh my God. Boy, you update your damn computer and everything goes off. All right. My goodness, my God. I'm going to just share it from my phone then. That might just be best. Homeboy, Chris calling. Hey, brother, I'm gonna hit you back real soon, bro. Real soon. So what's going on, everybody? Right now, tonight, we are just doing a quick little live stream. And I wanted to go ahead and talk about what's going on at the end of the election cycle with, the city of Pontiac. And I figured it out. I already know why this election cycle is like what it is. Like, I know a lot of people are saying, a lot of things going on. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull something up real quick. I'm going to pull something up. This might lag my video a little bit, but I'm going to see. We're going to talk about something tonight. We're going to talk about something tonight. We're going to talk tonight for a minute. This might lag my video a little bit, but we're going to talk. All right. So, guys, I figured it out, and I understand why. I understand what's going on about this election cycle that's been so up and down, up and everywhere in a nutshell. I get it. I think I figured it out. Well, I know that I didn't more than just figure it out. I understand what's going on with this cycle. I understand how and why it is such highly contested. I get it. I done figured out the Da Vinci Code. I'm gonna go ahead and hit some share button real quickly. 1 2 1 2. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the share button real quickly. But I figured out why this. Go ahead and hit the share button for me, guys. And I understand and I figured it out how and why this election cycle has been so crazy, up and down, where a lot of people say a lot of stuff is being said and a lot of vitriol going on. It's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of BS, like people say. I figured it out and I understand why it is. This is Pontiac's first. Hey, come on, microphone. This is Pontiac's first election. This is Pontiac's first election where it's being basically televised. Last election or any previous election did not go through the social media phase. This whole cycle has gone through a phase of social media. In a nutshell, this whole cycle has been played out on Facebook, not YouTube, not Instagram, not TikTok. It's been played out in Facebook, which is a good thing. I don't care how people look at it. It's a good thing because I think in a nutshell, it gave people a full scope of each and every candidate, who they are and what they are. That's what it did. That's what it's doing. Let me go ahead and hit this one more time, because I'm going to open up the phone lines, and anybody that wants to talk about it, they can. Let me go ahead and hashtag it one more time, and we can, continuously get into this whole thing. So that's basically this whole media cycle basically has this whole media cycle with this election has all played out on Facebook with almost each candidate, good or bad. And I think a lot of people have capitalized off of it, which is a good thing, and we should. We're a capitalistic society. But not only that, it also gave people opportunities to actually know and to know the candidates, know who the candidates are, what they stand for, why they're running, and pretty much overall, their platform. Where before it was a little bit harder to try to find out about each candidate. Sometimes you had to really, really dig deep and do a lot of research, go on websites and things like that. When this cycle, you didn't have to really do that as much. It was thrown in your face, good or bad. Now, a lot of people is talking about or saying, hey, they can't wait till the election cycle is over. This has been one heck of an exciting, this has been the most exciting election cycle in Pontiac history. This has been the most exciting election cycle in Pontiac's history. Everybody saying they can't wait for it to be over with. Everybody saying that they can't wait for it to be done. Everybody just like blah, 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 blah. No. This is, this has been more or less an historic type of situation with this election. For when it comes to the council, the top spot, the mayor, the librarian, everybody, we have got a thorough look at each person that's running for office. This is the most informed I think a lot of people have ever been. This is the most informed a lot of people has ever been about an election in Pontiac. Yeah, we done heard people say some things that they probably shouldn't have said. We seen some things done that we probably seen that shouldn't have been done. But it gave us an opportunity to really know in what each person stands for. I'm going to open up the phone lines, and I want you to go ahead and call in. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm straight actually happy. This is the most exciting and the most engaged Pontiac citizens in my 47 years. I remember history of people being engaged like this. It brought in the social look. The last election cycle, it was kind of there. And I worked with one or two candidates, basically. And I was trying to get one of the candidates to understand the power of social media. They did not leverage it. And I think that's what cost that person the seat that they wanted. I was trying to get a person to actually leverage social media 4 or 5 years ago when they were running for a seat in Pontiac, a major seat. They didn't do it. They was running a campaign the old school way. But this is the new school way of running campaigns now. You know what I'm saying? You have to be present on social media. A lot of things are going to be presented that might not come out just right or just be right or just might be out of order, out of pocket, but it's going to be a lot of stuff that's good that come out of it. Think about how many great debates or great forums came out of this. Oakland Ford gave some. Oakland Ford gave like 6 forums altogether. Pontiac United, be in the driver's seat. Talk to all the candidates, including today, Adrian and McCall Goodman. They almost covered almost all of it. I, me personally, have talked to Gil Garrett. Gil Garrett was the person that actually, for real, announced his candidacy on Pontiac WYAC, this show. Before everybody. He did it here. And he said he would run if Tim Grimer wasn't running. And that happened to be the case, and Tim wound up not, pursuing the mayorship this turn around. So Gil went on and put his hat in the race, and he said it here. We had a lot of great things, you know what I mean? Like, so we had Gil Garrett. We had McCall Goodman not too long ago. We invited Dawn Hannah to be on here. She couldn't quite make it. We invited Kermit Williams. He couldn't quite make it, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? We have had some major people come on the platform. We have major people talk about what's important to them in the city of Pontiac. We have had a lot of people make a name for themselves, even if the election doesn't go particularly in their favor. They made a name for themselves, good or bad. But either way, they made a name for themselves, and hopefully they can carry on and do some good things. I can honestly say I believe that the majority of everybody that's really running for an office seat is not doing it on the back of they just want to make a name for themselves. I'm believing that a lot of people that are running for office, they really care about what they're doing. They care about, of course, they would like to win. Of course, they would like to go ahead and hold that position, but they actually care about their districts. They care about the city overall. They care about what they're doing. So it's been a pleasure, honestly, for me to be involved in this whole situation. This whole election, I feel like I played somewhat of a part, as far as doing the live streaming things that I do. But when it comes down to it, y'all, a lot of people have looked at it and said, they can't wait for it to be over. They looked at it and said a lot of bad things have came out of it. I think a lot of great things have came out of this election cycle. It's been a historic one. It's been a highly contested one. It's been the good, bad, and the ugly, drag out, knockout. Hey, but that's the world of politics, man. Pontiac is just basically just catching up to really what it is. Pontiac is just really not catching up to how this and just think how this cycle is. Imagine how the next one is going to be. It's going to be probably a little bit more refined. But this one was a little bit robust. This one was a little bit boom, boom, bam. People got caught up with people got caught up on the cell phone saying things that they shouldn't have said. But hey, it happens. Overall, man, I think, despite a few things here and there and there and here, I think it was a great cycle. I think it was, I really do. I think it was a great cycle. I think it was a great opportunity for people to go ahead and have an opportunity to go ahead and show who they are. So I am going to open up the phone lines just for a little bit. If somebody would like to call in and have, tell me what they think on this debate, on not on these debate, but as far as this election cycle, how they feel overall. How did this election cycle go? Because at the end of the day, it's over on Tuesday, y'all. It's over on Tuesday. Who's going to win is win. Who's going to be in there, and that's going to be the next 4 years. You know what I mean? So overall, how do we rate this last really year of campaigning? It's been a hell of a ride. And I can't say it has not been eventful, fruitful, knowledgeable, and it should be all of those things. You know what I'm saying? Everything that it should have been. That's how it is on a national scale, regional scale, and really on a local scale. That's how it should be. It should be to the point where we're really able to see who these candidates are, being able to see and hear from them all the time. And that's pretty much what social media gave us opportunity. This is what Facebook allowed us to do. This is what live streaming allowed us to do. This is what the advent of technology allowed us to do, to be able to hear from these people directly and not always go out, but actually can, feed into what we need to hear about what they doing or what their agenda is, and go out there and support them if that's who you choose to support. So I really think it was a good election cycle. Just wait, y'all. In 4 years, it's gonna be even better. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I like what I saw. It seemed like a lot of information got out. A lot of people were able to get great information that they was looking for. And people really, I think people showed who they really are and what they really are in this. This is what campaigning is all about. So 248, if you want to pop on, please do. That is 248-905-1128. Call in. Tell me how you feel about this election cycle. How do you feel it went? Who's your candidate? If you want to call in and say who your candidate is for mayor or who District 1, 2, 3, 4 through, to the at-large position, call in. If you're interested too, 248-905-1128. But it's been a heck of a cycle. And I'm actually proud because I'm looking at it in a different way. I know some people are looking at it like it was a mess, but I think overall it was exactly what we needed. It kind of pushed us forward into into the 21st century. A lot of stuff had gotten this really pushed Pontiac forward. Honestly, this whole election cycle has pushed Pontiac forward, in my opinion. Just the amount of participation, people coming out to the debates, people coming out to the forums, people talking about it on social media, good, bad, or indifferent. This really helped push the agenda, the thought pattern of where Pontiac is headed. People, everybody I noticed had more opinions, and that's a great thing. I don't care if your opinion is not, what everybody's opinion or the majority of it, and that's fine. Everybody should have their own opinion how they feel, because everybody got, love or a thought pattern how, the city probably of Pontiac should go. But how involved the citizens or people are about what's the redevelopment downtown. People got questions and answers and thought patterns on that and thinking about that. The let's say people have thought patterns, and not only thought patterns, ideas about the acquisition of the Pontiac Central building and it being used for DPW and probably other things moving forward. I'm excited about that, man. I'm super excited about that building, the possibilities of that building. I know that a lot of people say, hey, it was done in the 11th hour, the 12th hour, and people didn't even know it was, people didn't even know that, the vote and this and this and this and that. And I get it, and I understand. But the acquisition of the Pontiac Central building, to me, hey, it was a deal you can't even pass up. I mean, you had to get that building back. It's not nothing too left that you can lose here. Like, we lost everything. You know what I mean? When you look at Pontiac, lost a lot. You have to solidify and acquire some of this stuff back, in my opinion. So if you have an opinion about this election, how it went, hit the share button. Show me that you're interested. Don't be a hater. Share it. Call in 248-905-1128. How did you feel about this election cycle? It's all over this Tuesday. It's all over this Tuesday. You could talk about the candidate you support or like or want. I don't care. Tell me about who you support. Tell me how you feel this election cycle went. 248-905-1128, or put it in the comments. Hit the share button, y'all. Tell me, maybe the candidate that you support. Why and why not? Maybe. That's cool. It's up to you. And if you support them, why? Where you like to see Pontiac go forward? And I really like this election cycle. It was pumped. I ain't gonna lie. It was the way it should have been. It was the way it was. I was heavily involved in it. I'm super proud of the job that I was able to do. When people called on me to do some things, some live streaming and X, Y, and Z, and helping people getting the word out, I I love being part of I loved being part of the process. I love seeing Gil be able to put his hat into the ring. I'm Regina Campbell able to put her hat into the ring. Has a great chance of winning. Kenya Earl putting her hat in the ring. I've been knowing Kenya. This is crazy. Like people I've grown up with now, they're running the city at this point. People that I've grown up with or grew up under are running or major leaders now. Are major leaders within the city of Pontiac or grew up with. Kenyatta Bowman, Pontiac School District Vice President. You know, it's wonderful, and I'm proud of these people. Gil Garrett, knowing that he has, got major love for the city of Pontiac, and he does what he can, and he does what he does out of it. Major love and respect for him. Regina Campbell, which is like a big cousin, more or less. Being able to see her go ahead and pursue, the things that she want to do and be able to run or represent her district, for the city, and be able to put her ideas into action. Melanie Rutherford, another one. But I've been knowing for almost 25 years, being able to become the person that she has become. It's been tough. It's been rough. But being able to see everybody come into their own, it's been a great thing to see. Chris Jackson, don't know him 100% too well, too great. I don't know him, but seems like a great guy. Met him a couple times. I know Chris, but I know Chris, but I don't know Chris Jackson like that. But he seems like a great guy. You know what I mean? Got major love for Pontiac. I know he do. Adrian. I mean, everybody that's running, I believe, have real, genuine love in our people that's after the good for the citizens in their district and overall Pontiac. I don't believe anybody is just running because they want to just be running. Not with this election. So I'm really happy with this election cycle. I'm really happy that really all the information that can't nobody say that this election cycle came and they didn't get the information that they needed from nobody. Unless you put your head down and buried it, you can't say you don't know the candidates. They have all addressed issues or things that people have said to them or said about them. Some were up under the microscope more than others. But listen, you want to go ahead and run for something, you got to be, now you know what to look forward to. So if you done did something, you know what I mean, no good and well is going to come out. But I really appreciate and I liked what I saw in this cycle. I think Oakland Ford did a absolutely great job with the forms that they put on. Pontiac United, they did an outstanding job. Regina, the Queen of Carlones, and Dr. T did an outstanding job. They had individual on being the driver's seat. They had individual. They had Mike McGinnis, as you see right here. They had Kermit Williams. Kermit Williams was their first guest, actually, for the was their first guest actually for the on the political circuit when they started. So they had Mike, they had Gil, they had Kermit. Not only them, they had they had around several council people that were interested in council. Regina Campbell, Melanie Rutherford, Mikhail Goodman. They had Chris Jackson. They had almost everybody that's still in the race at this point. So they had a great circuit in helping people understand and get the word out as far as who's running and who wants to be the next leaders. So listen, man, I'm not mad at anybody in the way that they ran their campaign. Everybody, this is it's a blood sport. You know what I mean? And you do what you got to do to get in there and win a lot of times. And is it right? Who can say that? And who's wrong? You know what I'm saying? Who can say that? Nobody said elections are going to be, cut and dry and down the middle and fair and square. You want them to be far as, some things are off limit or tactful, but that's just not how it goes. You just got to know. Like I know if I go running for some damn mayoral or some candidate for somebody, depending on what it is and how highly contested it is, somebody gonna come out and say some stuff, depending on who my opponent is. You know what I mean, and how it's going. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, y'all, Pontiac had an awesome election cycle. Absolutely awesome election cycle. I'm proud of everybody that was involved in it, down to the candidates, all the way down to the participants, the people that put these forums and debates on. Man, it's been, and a lot of people talking about they ready for it to end. Yo, it's been a hell of a ride. It's been good. How do y'all feel the election cycle went? How do y'all feel that it went? That's the question that I'm asking and would love an answer to. If I can get from what y'all, for anybody out there in the crowd, you can call in 248-905-1128. You can tell me what you think. How do you feel that this election cycle went? Or you can leave a comment. I think, for one, it went great. I know some things came out and people got caught on camera. I see them. I know that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is. Hey, but at the end of the day, they say any publicity is better than none, right? Not saying it was right, not saying it was right, not saying it was wrong. But crazy things happen during election season. And it's down to the wire. It's down to the end of days for this thing. We got a couple days left. So people are swinging up. A lot of people are swinging for the ropes because this is it. Whatever campaigning you're going to do in the next 48 hours, that's it. That's all you got until the next 4 years. So some people just pulling it all out. It's like a boxer in the 12th round. So, people are, going out for the knockout jab, the knockout roundhouse, the knockout blow. Is it right? Is it the right? Who knows? Who's to say? But overall, I'm happy with this election cycle. Pontiac actually caught up to the way it should have been. Like I said before earlier, 4 years ago, I was working with a candidate. I believe they would have won if they would have followed some of the instructions that I gave them. They would have won the seat that they were pursuing, and they asked for a little bit of help from me. I really tried to push them to using social media the way that it was used in this election cycle. Because what I'm going to tell you is this: the reason that this election cycle was so the way it was is because social media was so prevalent. This is the most electrifying, this is the most exciting, this is the most engaged election cycle that Pontiac has ever had. And the reason why is because of social media. People, the ones that took advantage of it, the ones that took advantage of it are doing pretty well. You know what I'm saying? And even if they don't win, they raise their profile. They raise their profile, their personal profile, their footprint. But I believe that this cycle was so what it was is because it was played out on social media. It played out on Facebook a lot. I ain't gonna say this was a Facebook election, but this was a lot of it was predicated. A lot of it was deterred or determined by what we see on Facebook. What happened in this election was a lot of how Facebook campaigns were ran. This is how it's going to be moving forward. And I believe the candidate that I was helped for a slight little bit of time 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, if they would have followed my instructions, they probably would have they probably would have won. Or probably, yeah, they probably would have won because I was pushing that person in the direction of using social media the right way, with trying to do live streams, do town hall meetings, do sit downs regularly, weekly. Nobody or no other candidate was doing it. 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. Now see how that changed in 4 years. Now this is commonplace now. Everybody's doing forums all the time. You know, there's ads, promos all the time. Podcasts, sit downs all the time. Call-ins all the time. You see what I'm saying? So this is the landscape now. Pontiac just caught up to how the game is basically played moving forward. So again, I'm happy with what I was able to contribute as far as being a media guy, as far as being a person that is the medium. Like a person come to me, I can help live stream and help get it out to people where they not missing any information or getting, they just getting the broadcast directly from me. So I'm happy. And this right here, what you see is what was put on by Oakland Ford, and also, man, it was a plethora of people that sponsored this event. But it was a forum series that I was available for, and I was just so happy to be a part of it. And what's going on, Pam? So, Pam, overall, what do you feel about this election cycle? I mean, how did you feel it went? I think I liked it. You know what I'm saying? It was highly entertainment. It was. And in this way, it just wasn't highly entertaining. It was highly educational, and understanding about these candidates. You know, how did you feel? How did you feel about overall this whole process? That's what I want to hear from the people. Women's Voters League, yep, Women's Voters League. That's right. How could I forget the Women's Voter League? So how did you feel about this overall campaign or this year? And I'm thinking that I'm honestly going to come on Tuesday. We're going to call it the Super Tuesday show. And I think that's going to be my official break back. I got some work to do tomorrow and Monday, a lot. But election night, we probably going to go live, y'all. And we probably going to really just be watching the exit polls come in and go from there. You say you did appreciate being able to view the process, being that I'm away a lot. It was. And I think that was a great plus, you know what I mean? 4 years ago, we didn't see that. 4 years ago, we officially are done with the way the campaigns used to be. Yeah, you go door to door. You still do that. You still go door to door, knock, shake hands, kiss babies. You still do that, but you have to be social. You have to use social media now, which is about to say, however, it is difficult viewing high degree of negativity. Got you. And you know, and I hear and I feel what you're saying, but it's almost like you got it with politics. That's what it is. It's always going to be that. It's like it don't bother, you know, it's like that's what politics is. You got the red versus the blue, or the black, however you want to look at it, it's versus. It's like those versus battles, you know what I mean? People are going, they want their position, they want the spot. A lot of money goes into campaigning. A lot of time goes into campaigning, heart, blood, and sweat and tears. And a lot of people it's just the way campaigns go on a national. So I don't see no negative black eye on Pontiac just because some things went a little negative. Because quite honestly, that's just how all the elections go. We were just able to see it a little bit more because this is the first time we really was able to have something like this be on a scale of a social media, on a highly viewed situation. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when campaigns started for the administration now, there was some negativity, but we didn't see it because people wasn't using Facebook Live like they were. People wasn't posting like this. Now they're posting like, all the time. I was able to attend a few live, but it's not everyone went to. Right. Nobody and everybody didn't. Everybody, got a way of running their campaign. And like I'm saying, to me, there's no right and there's no wrong. There's some things I wouldn't do. But the rules of engagement of really the rules of engagement is how you want to play them when you're running for office. I can't say what's right and how some didn't. Because if it was a rule that you couldn't go negative and it disqualify you, then that would kick people off and they couldn't run. So people ran what felt right to them. You know what I mean? So what's wrong to us might felt right to them. You know what I mean? So it's like I learned to be unbiased about people's opinions, how they feel. Even what's negative to us might be positive to them. It just depends on how they want to look at it. But I just feel overall this has been a great cycle. Very informative. I know who I liked from the very beginning. It didn't really change. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that came out negative, quote unquote, nothing really didn't change how I felt about the candidate that I, felt the best for or whatever the case may be. It kind of almost made a lot of times when negativity and stuff come out, it make you even gravitate to the candidate that you like the most. You're like, you know what? I'm doubling down on that person. You know what I'm saying? That usually a lot of times negativity works in a negative light for the person giving the negativity. The negativity plus equals a positive a lot of times because it ain't like people surprising people. But it was good. It was good. Would you say yeah. So I really appreciated again how things went. I can imagine how the next cycle in the next 4 years is going to be. But we're going to have a show on Tuesday night. And I don't know if I'm going to try to gather a couple of people, maybe for an hour or two. And, might try to get the winner of some of these elections. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. If they get a chance to, speak with us or whatever the case may be. But on Tuesday night, I will probably be coming live and call it the Super Tuesday Show. And see what happens and see who get their new spots. And then the work begins, you know what I mean? And then the work begins because there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of work. Honestly, I like a lot of the direction that Pontiac is going. I do understand, and some things I don't like. You know what I'm saying? So there's some, but overall, I think it's some progression that's happening. Overall, there's a lot of work to be done, though. A lot of work. So the next administration, they're going to have their hands full. They're going to have their hands full. And either way it go, I believe it's going to be someone that loves the city of Pontiac. Would you say that would be dope? We'll go to their campaign headquarters. If I'm invited, I got a little mobile setup where I can go ahead and live stream live, you know what I mean? Make it look professional, you know what I'm saying? Can visit campaign headquarters. Yeah. But I do think, overall I do think Pontiac is going in the right direction. Things look, y'all, things changing. Things gonna change and they ain't gonna stay the same. It's just not. And what I notice is a lot of times when there's a lot of investment coming into the city, any city, I don't care if it's Inkster, Hamtramck, Southfield, any majority black city. Southfield ain't majority black, I don't believe, but any majority black city, anytime a ton of money or investment comes into a city, people, first thing they say is gentrification. Well, that had been happening a long time ago, y'all. It's just been happening. You know, the more thing we need to think about and talk about is when our parents and grandparents have left us homes and or gave us properties or this and that. What did we do with them? We messed them up or sold them or lost them to taxes. Because thinking about it, a lot of the people that did own homes, our families owned these homes when we were growing up. Our families didn't rent like that. You know what I'm saying? Our families came from home. My mother and father came from homes of their parents owning their home when they came up from the South. They came up and owned a home. And those homes were passed down. What did we do with them? Now we're going to cry about them that we don't own, you know, the rent is high. You know what I'm saying? And we turned around and sold the homes, lost the homes to taxes. Now people come in and buy the land for nothing, buy the house for nothing, and put some investment and some money in it. Now it's gentrification. Well, the money was in, the money and the property was in your hand first. I didn't get passed down a home, I'm gonna tell you, but a lot of us did. You know, a lot of us did. It is to be the same people talking about gentrification. When you had the house, you had the land, but you lost it to taxes, or you refinanced it and got all the bread out and didn't keep the house up and tore it up. Now you own the house, you don't own the property. So anytime a lot of investment come into a city, the first thing people say is gentrification. It is. I'm happy to see some doggone investment, quite honestly. And even when it comes to the M1 concourse, people got a lot to say about the M1 concourse. I grew up on the South Side, right where the M1 concourse is. I grew up a block or two away from it, Cedardale, 284 Cedardale. And then my other grandmama, one grandmother stayed on 284 Cedardale, and right on the other side of M1 concourse, my other grandmother stayed, my dad's mom stayed on Rockwell. So when GM left that place, a toxic landfill, a toxic land waste. M1 concourse was a toxic landfill before it got there, after the plant left. Nothing was going to be there. Nothing. The plant was there and employed a lot of people from the city of Pontiac and around the city of Pontiac. I remember growing up, the hill that was right there, I used to play on it. Right where they got that little parking structure across from M1 right there on the south. That used to be a playground when I grew up. For a little bit of time. Then, you know, GM did some stuff with it. So after the plant, we got to look at things on a bigger scope. Why did the plant leave? Who caused the plant jobs to leave Pontiac and Detroit? That's the bigger question. Do you really want to answer and talk about that? But anyhow, the plant left. Or even over there by United Wholesale, all of that was the plant. All of it. The plant over there. The plant right there where M1 Concourse was. Now, M1 Concourse wound up getting that land. That land was a toxic dump. In order for somebody, so that means after the M1 Concourse left, after the plant left, GM left that plant ground, that ground stayed there as a toxic landfill for years. Pam, me and you couldn't have got there and put no bakery there or no cleaners because that land had to be cleaned, treated, that take millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? So GM left that land a toxic waste dump. So now we mad at a company that came, got it cleaned up. However they got it, and they did something with the land. Yo, just imagine if the people, the great-grandparents that died off and left their homes to the people around that area, would have left their homes to that area, to those people. Just think about the wealth building opportunity that was lost. People that had gotten their homes, or the older people that passed away on the south side, right in that area, left their homes to their children and their children's children, whatever. And these people lost the homes to taxes, foreclosure, whatever they lost it to, neglecting it. They had an opportunity for their houses to rise in value and get equity because you got $1 billion company right there. If you would have held on to the homes, kept the homes up. And the only reason I'm talking like this is because I know mortgage, because I spent 20 years in mortgage from the time I was 18 years old to the time I was 37. That's what I did before I went into multimedia. I know how equity and land value work. So lost a tremendous amount of money selling off the resources. Now people get mad because some people come over there, and I get it. The noise is what it is. But I ask myself this: would I would want it to be a toxic land dump as far as pollution, or or noise pollution? Which one is worse? Neither one is good, but one is worse than the other. I'm gonna tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Pollution that you can touch, a toxic land dump where you can stuff start messing with your body, or noise pollution. Neither one, and I get it. I get it. But I'm just saying, y'all. And then on top of that, you have more leverage and you have more power when you are a landowner. So a lot of the resources around the south side, because I grew up on Cedardale, but I spent a lot of time in between Cedardale and Rockwell. Majority of my time was on Cedardale, on the flip side, right there. When I was growing up, every 80%, you could choose any block on the south side when I was growing up in the early 80s, mid-80s. Nobody rented on these houses. They were all owned. At least 90% on every block was owned, pretty much. Now everybody is renting. So, and I think so at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I think that, some work needs to be done, but we got to look at it from both spectrums now. Sound barriers is an option, probably so. I really don't know, how to enforce that or whatever the case may be. But I think sound barriers is something that they could do. But a lot of people ain't really thinking about it like, for real. You might not like what I'm saying, but I don't care. Where is the other tax revenue? If these people decide to leave tomorrow, what you gonna have there? Just remember, y'all, what happened to the Silverdome when the Detroit Lions left? And I'll be honest with you, Pontiac should have bent backwards to had whoever was in charge then, or whatever the case may be, should have bent backwards to keep the Detroit, even though the Detroit Lions was going to eventually leave. Even though the Detroit Lions was going to eventually leave anyway because they wanted to be back in Detroit. I don't care. You do any and everything to keep the Detroit Lions and Pontiac as long as you possibly could. Remember what happened with the Silver Dome. How long did it take for the Silver Dome from the Detroit Lions to Amazon? How long did it take? So when you have a major multi-million franchise leave or multi-billion company leave, you just can't replace that with a mom and pop in a rib shack. You can't do it. You have to have when one multi-billion facility leave, you need something that's going equivalent to basically to come and take that space, to take that tax revenue. Fortunately, Amazon, that was a site that Amazon ultimately, but think about how many people, how the deal that was made on that. Who fumbled that? You know what I'm saying? Who messed up that deal? Go back and look. Terrible deal makers in the past. That's what Pontiac can't afford to have. Terrible deal makers. Because like it or not, it's big business. And you got to find a way to have big business here. You got to find a way to have big business wanting to come here. But you also got to find a way not to chase them away when they're here. You can't do it. It's the way of the world. Like my man said on Lean on Me. It's the way of the world. You can't, there's no island cities no more, brother. Sister, there's no more, oh, it's just a black city. No, it ain't none of that no more. If it's you gonna be just a black city and nothing, no shit there to do. No money flowing through. That ain't how it go no more. It's just not happening. Back in the 50s and 40s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, maybe. Because black people had their own doctor's office. Black people had their own candy stores. It was a plethora, own lawyer offices. Black. It ain't like that at 30, 40, in the 30s and 40s in Tulsa, where you had a whole black bottom in Detroit long time ago, where you can have a black city, a black side of town, and it just ran on itself, on its own commerce. It don't happen like that no more. You gonna have what people talk about, gentrification. Because tell me what city is black at this point in the world history, in the United States history, that's primarily black, running off of just black. It ain't happening like that no more. It sounds nice. It would be a great utopia, but we fucked that up long time ago. I mean, just quite honest. Or it was fucked up for us. 1 to 2. So it's not happening. So when we have a big business, you got to just find a way to integrate this thing. You just got to find a way to integrate it into the community, ultimately, overall. And the leader that whoever wins, or the leaders that win, have to have that mindset. Big business has to be the mindset at this point. Big business with the people in mind. Big business with the people in mind. Big business with the people in mind, because at this point, it is what is things gonna be moving with you or without you at this point. At the end of the day, business is gonna be done. Business is going to be committed. If you just want to be along for the, if at this point, you know, how we gonna conduct the business. So whoever the new leaders are, that's what the focal point is. Finding out the way that Pontiac can get the most business, the most dollars, the correct and the good businesses that come in, and invest into the city of Pontiac. Not only invest into the city of Pontiac, make sure that it's integrating the citizens. That's what the fight is now. Big business is coming. Big business is here. How do we get some of it? That's what it come down to. And it was the same thing what Jermaine was saying, and I'm with him. Branner, Max Main, got to get a piece of it. So you got to have a fighter. You have to have fighters in there fighting for the people to be in order to be able to get these things. You know, be able to get a piece of the pie. So that's what we need. Fighters. Because big business is here at this point, and that's what it is. But I'm going to tell you this. The ball was dropped. Not only, listen, the ball was dropped. We got to take some onus of our ancestors. We got to take some onus of ourselves. A lot of the reason why we're powerless or feel powerless is because we gave up our dower rights. I'm going to tell y'all what dower rights is. Dower rights is, put it like this. I was in the mortgage business. Dower rights is, say if I'm married and the spouse has automatic rights to what I have. She don't have to sign nothing. She's automatically, she got what I want or got. It's hers too. We gave up our dower rights. So things that we were inherited, houses, property, we gave it up. So a lot of your power is gone when you give up your inheritance. The Bible talks about that. The Bible talks about inheritance. The Bible talks about inheritance. Maybe that's what people should start talking about more around here. Inheritance. What happened to your inheritance? Because when you give up your inheritance, then you find yourself fighting for involvement. Because there was a lot of ownership. There was a lot of people that owned a lot of stuff here. But we gave it up. Because we didn't know how to do it. We didn't know how to do what our grandparents did. We didn't know how to keep the house. We didn't know how to keep the land. We didn't know how to keep the think about the house. Think about the houses that our grandparents and them had. Think about it. Think about how manicured and how to backyard. They even had gardens back there. My grandmother used to do turnip greens, mustard greens in the backyard, squash. And then the lady across the street, she had tomatoes. Like people in the community even had, we don't know how to do none of that. We lost it. We lost it in the generation after them. Honestly, with our parents. We got away from that. In other communities, they didn't. Other communities, they kept what my grandmother used to say, mother with. I didn't understand that. What was mother with? It's common sense. A lot of different communities, they kept the understanding of ownership. That's why a lot of other communities that, let's say a Waterford, for instance, they probably don't have the problem that a Pontiac has because a lot of them kept their inheritance, the ownership. They kept their inheritance. So, when you have ownership, then you have power. You have you have a right. When you have ownership, you have leverage. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, okay, I come work for you, but if I got my own business and I got some sustainable income on my own business, I'm not 100% dependent on this job to take care of me. If they want to fire me, I got my own thing rolling a little bit so I could do my own thing. And that's what inheritance or ownership does for you if you cultivate it and treat it like what somebody else gave you. You know what I'm saying? So it's, that's what it comes down to. So I think basically in a nutshell, moving forward, because the city of Pontiac is gonna move forward regardless who's in there or not. It's just whoever gets in there being able to be the best deal maker for the citizens. That's who it comes. That's what it comes down to. It, because at the end of the day, it's a business. It's all business, and people can act like it's about the people. But the business is the people. The business is the people. But it kind of can't be. It kind of can't be put out there like that. So when people campaign or talk, they have to say it's about the people. But it is about the people, but the people are the business. The people are the business. The people are the most valued commodity. So whoever is the next leadership has to be about the business of the people. So I'm going to be getting ready to get up out of here. I know I'm going to catch the last couple minutes of the Michigan game. I know they probably should be winning. Tuesday, I'm going to come on. I kind of got my setup the way I want it now, you know what I'm saying? And we should be coming on more frequent, God willing, God willing. And like I said, I had a wonderful time this election cycle. Had a real good time. I'm glad I was able to contribute in the way that I was able to contribute. I'd like to thank all the organizations and facilities that have had me in there. I want to give a great big old shout out to the city of Pontiac, man. I've done so much work with them this year. It's been a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous blessing. You know what I'm saying? So I like, what I'm saying, at the end of the day, I like to just thank everybody that I was able to work with during this whole campaign cycle. Brushed arms. I worked a little bit on Mike's campaign. A lot of the pictures that you guys saw for his campaign is, guess who took them? Me. Took them last year. Yep. So I had two sessions with Mike, and the pictures, the majority of his campaign pictures all came from me. Y'all didn't know that. Just gave y'all something. I did a lot of work with Melanie Rutherford, and with her, as far as the video campaign. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful, I did a lot of work with Miss Milana Jones. Able to do some work with Miss Milana Jones that's running for District 2. And she's a great Milana Jones. I like her, and I think she's a great young lady, And I had the opportunity to work with her slightly, and hopefully more in the future. And so I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for everybody that have I've been able to work with. It has made my life more fulfilling. I'll be quite honest with you. Thank you, Milana, for working with me. I know we didn't get a chance to do some other things that you had planned or we had planned, and I know time is just. But thank you for allowing me to be a part of your campaign. I wish you the best of luck. This Super Tuesday, I'm gonna do a show, and. I just, every candidate, it just made a lot fulfilling. It really, nobody knows the type of year I've had, y'all. And maybe I'll be able to talk about it soon. But I'll tell you, 2025 has been a year for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be 100% with y'all. I'm going to tell you something. I have never been this more up and down in any other year of my life. than this year. It's just been, but it's a lot of great things have happened too. So it's just the bitter and sweet. It's life. You know what I mean? It's life. But the people that have allowed me to work with them, like I said, Miss Belana Jones, like I said, I work with Mike McGinnis. I work with Regina Campbell. I did a little something for her. Melanie Rutherford. I've been able to do a lot of work around the city of Pontiac that helped do the forums. It was just good to be seen, y'all. It was good to be seen. This political season breathed life into me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't even know. You know what I'm saying? It really did. It gave me an opportunity to be, in the moment, doing what I do. It gave me an opportunity to be productive, and it just was a lot. You know what I'm saying? This campaign season was important for a lot of reasons. So I think overall, I just think that this was a great season. I think it was a historic season for the city of Pontiac, far as the campaign, the way that the season went. It was the most engaging. That's one thing I can say for sure. And I think everybody did pretty doggone good for it to be everything to be on Front Street like it was and is. And I think I'm looking forward to great things coming forward, and which I know they are going to be. I'm looking forward to, like I said, ultimately the business is the people. The business is the people, and whoever retains seats and whoever get in there, that's what it all boiled down to. But we need to make sure, look, things ain't going to be like they used to be. Let's get that over with. I have to, sometimes I'll be like, I'm in the reminiscent of days of old. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about how it was on the south side of Cedardale and this and the things that I missed. But we're in a new age and day. And now I'm to the age now, like my pops came up here from Brooklyn, and they came to Pontiac in the 50s, late 40s and 50s for work, General Motors and stuff like that. So Brooklyn, Illinois, Lovejoy, Metropolis, East St. Louis. And they came here, and Pontiac was one way back then. It was different. Then I remember my mom's telling me about how Pontiac was when the segregation came, as far as the school, the busing. She was a part of that. And so Pontiac went through a lot of different phases historically, you know what I mean? And I'm a historical type of guy. And then we went through the glory 80s, the 80s, things was up and down, and it was a crazy time. The 90s, I remember that, early 2000s, and then how things changed until we are where we are today. But I'm going to tell you, you know what I mean? I think major investment is continuously going to be pouring in, and there's going to be a turnaround. As if you're going to be a part of it or not. If you want to be a part of it or not. And I ain't saying agree with everything that's happening. That's not logical, nor is it real. But change is coming. And you got to find a way to fit into the change. When I'm not saying go along with everything, but I'll say fit into the change. Make yourself, insert yourself into the change. Because you can rudder, if you put yourself in the game, you can rudder some things for yourself and your constituents or your people, or some things that you want to get done. You're sitting on the outside just talking yet or blah, blah, blah. That ain't going to work. Get around the people and get into close with these people that's going to be the decision makers. And maybe you can make some decision make on the makers. You know what I'm saying? Make some decision on the makers. You know what I'm saying? And who knows? Because the Bible even talks about, where you can have presence in the amongst of kings. And so with that being said, meaning that the decision makers in your city, your county, your state, sometimes you feel like these people are on another level. I can't, but I don't feel like that. These people just like me. And I can be around them and I can talk to them and I can be Sante. And if I need something and if I can come the correct way and maneuver my way, it ain't, but I can get it. Or get close to it. Or get close to where they can tell me where I can get it or make some change. Or how I need. And that's all it is. And they're doing it too. In their positions, in their respective positions, they're maneuvering amongst the people that can make change. And that's all these positions. These positions are allowing them to be in position to make moves too. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is pretty much putting themselves in position. The mayor is putting himself in position that he can have access to the county commissioner even on a higher level, or the governor on a higher level, or people on a higher, where, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's putting themselves in position. Put yourself in position. So people that put themselves on, when people put their neck on the line. All right, it's time. I got to get another chord. People putting their neck on the line. Come on, dang. Okay, it's almost time to go. But people putting their neck on the line to go ahead and run a campaign. That's like I say, that's a tough thing to do, because you run the risk of being exposed for the things that you don't want to be talked about or exposed. So I have to give my hat out to anybody that, runs a campaign. I can imagine it's very tough work. I know it's take tough skin. You have to be able to fundraise. You have to be able to, it's a lot of things you have to do that I don't even know about. But you got to be innovative, and you got to be, it's just a marathon. It is a marathon. So we at the end. So with that being said, you guys be looking forward for Tuesday, Super Tuesday. I will, God willing, be coming on. Got some work to do all day tomorrow, all day Monday, and hopefully Tuesday I can, get on and, have a great disposition, and we go ahead and have a good talk, and we do it. With that being said, you guys, keep God first, family second, and you third in that order. You should never be made last, because the last is made first. And we out of here. Peace. Matter of fact, let me see it. Let me play a little something for you. Nah. I ain't gonna play nothing. We'll leave that for Tuesday. Peace.